In the garden of our relationships, presence is the sunlight that nourishes understanding and connection. When we are truly present with our loved ones, we offer them the precious gift of our full attention. This gift of presence allows us to listen deeply, to see clearly, and to respond with compassion. However, our fast-paced lives often pull us away from the present moment. Our minds become entangled in worries about the future or regrets from the past. We check our phones, multitask, and allow distractions to steal away our focus. In these moments of inattentiveness, we miss opportunities for true connection. Mindfulness invites us to return to the present moment. It encourages us to set aside distractions and to offer our undivided attention to the people in front of us. When we practice mindfulness in our relationships, we cultivate a space for deeper understanding, empathy, and love to blossom. Just as a gardener tends to their plants with care and attention, we can cultivate presence in our relationships, nurturing the bonds that bring us joy and support. Conflicts are inevitable in any relationship. Just as storms arise in the sky, disagreements and misunderstandings are a natural part of sharing our lives with others. However, it is often our reactions to these conflicts that determine whether they lead to growth or further disconnection. When we feel triggered or threatened, our bodies go into fight, flight, or freeze mode. This automatic response is designed to protect us from danger. However, in the context of a disagreement with a loved one, these reactions can escalate conflicts and create distance. We might raise our voices, say hurtful things, or shut down completely. These reactive behaviors prevent us from communicating effectively and resolving conflicts constructively. Mindfulness offers us a different path. By becoming aware of our thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations in the midst of a conflict, we can choose to respond with more skill and compassion. The first step toward bringing mindfulness into our relationships is to develop self-awareness. This means paying attention to our own thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations without judgment. When we are aware of our own internal landscape, we are better equipped to understand how it influences our interactions with others. We can begin to notice patterns in our reactions. Perhaps we tend to become defensive when we feel criticized, or maybe we withdraw emotionally when we feel overwhelmed. By observing these patterns with curiosity and acceptance, we can begin to make conscious choices about how we want to respond in challenging situations. Self-awareness also involves recognizing our own triggers. What are the things that tend to push our buttons and evoke strong emotional reactions? Once we understand our triggers, we can develop strategies for managing them more skillfully. Section 4. From Reaction to Response. Choosing mindfulness. When we are in the midst of a conflict, it's easy to get caught up in our own thoughts and emotions. We might start to rehearse arguments in our heads, make assumptions about the other person's intentions, or feel overwhelmed by a flood of negative feelings. Mindfulness invites us to step back from this reactivity and to create space between our experience and our response. We can do this by focusing on our breath, noticing the sensations of our feet on the ground, or simply observing the thoughts and emotions that are present without judgment. This pause, however brief, can make all the difference. It allows us to interrupt our habitual patterns of reacting and to choose a more skillful response. Instead of saying something hurtful, we might take a few deep breaths and try to see the situation from the other person's perspective. Remember, mindfulness is not about suppressing our emotions or pretending that everything is okay. It's about acknowledging our experience with kindness and choosing to respond in a way that aligns with our values. Section 5. Seeds of Compassion, Speaking and Listening with Kindness. Mindful communication is not just about what we say, but also about how we listen. When we listen with compassion, we create a space for understanding and connection. This means putting aside our own agendas, judgments, and defenses, and truly trying to understand the other person's perspective. We can practice compassionate listening by paying attention to the speaker's words, tone of voice, and body language. We can also reflect back what we've heard to ensure that we've understood correctly. When we listen with compassion, we show the other person that they are seen, heard, and valued. Speaking with kindness involves choosing our words carefully and expressing ourselves in a way that is both honest and respectful. It's about speaking our truth without blame, judgment, or aggression. When we communicate mindfully, we sow the seeds of compassion, understanding, and connection in our relationships.